Hello, everyone. Trust you're well. My name is Adegoke Omotola, the host of the Leadership Podcast, Leadership Talk with Adegoke. And we're looking at leadership and learning today. Leadership and learning. This is the 84th podcast. Yes, the 84th podcast. And I am so glad to have with me Maria Maha. How are you today?
Hi, Dagoke. I'm very good. Thank you. How are you?
Very well, very well.
Thank you for having me, and sorry for a little delay here. I was having some technical difficulties.
No, no, that's okay. It happens. That's what leaders do. Leaders, they always undo crisis with elegance.
Thank you. Yes. You just have to improvise, right? You have to make it work, pivot and adjust, and keep sailing.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Thank you for showing up. The last session we had on leadership strength was amazing. You
Thank you.
know,
It was
you really
great
did
to
well.
be there with you. Yes.
Yeah, and thanks for honoring my invitation as well.
Of course, my pleasure. I'm so honored to be here and be speaking to you and to your guests. What an honor. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, awesome. So tell us, where are you speaking from?
I am tuning here from Central New York. I'm in Central New York, about 5 hours from New York City. It's a
Okay.
beautiful day. It's 11 o'clock in the morning here. We have some sunshine today. It was raining yesterday, but today it's really nice and it's starting to look like summer here. A little bit
Awesome.
later than usual, but we're enjoying the sunshine and we'll take it all in.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Now tell us, who is Maria?
So, Maria Maier, so I am the owner of the company now. I started my own business 4 months ago, Step Up and Thrive. Prior to that, I worked as an administrator in the higher ed and the college setting for 17 years with some
Wow.
interruptions. And prior to that, I worked in the big city hall overseas. Originally, I'm from Russia. So
Okay.
I had an experience of working with the mayor and the first deputy of the mayor and executive assistant in a large city hall. It was a great experience. And when I moved here to the United States 17 years ago, I was lucky to get a job in higher education and loved working with students and professors and helping them in any way I could.
Awesome, awesome. So that's Maria for you. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for adding value. It's always nice to um, get a perspective that's different from yours. I mean, my journey is different from yours. I used to be in the banking industry, before I transited into entrepreneurship. Um, and I've been in that space for about 2 decades. Leadership as well as customer service coach. And I'm also an author of the book Customer Retention and Experiential Approach.
That's
Yeah,
terrific.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
How did you get to write a book, Adek? Okay, if you could share.
Well, I got writing. I have a page on Facebook. It's called Customer Retention. So about 14 years ago, I started. It was just like a blog. I'll just be inspired to write, on retention, you know, and this is the fourth um, edition, the fourth reprint. Yeah. So I kept on writing for about 2 years, and one day I met a guy, and the guy said to me, I mean, you speak for a living, you train. Do you know you can write a book? I said, wow, is it possible? He said, bring all your resources together, and I went to my page. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Okay.
Um, Customer retention page, and I printed out, it was almost about 20 pages. And
Wow.
he edited it, put it all together. And there you go. My name was in the front of the book, the draft. And that was how the journey started.
Wow, that's terrific. And that was how many years ago? Recently?
12 years ago, 12.
12 years. Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
It's actually 13. Yeah, 13. Yeah,
Oh,
almost
wow.
13. It's 13 exactly. 13 now. Yeah. You know
Awesome.
how time flies. Because, all those things that we do post here and there, you're inspired. It's,
Yeah.
it's, and you do it consistently. It can become a book. It can become an audio book. It can become a journal. It can become an article,
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people have those resources just lying all over the place. But,
Mhm.
bringing it together, coordinating it, and the book has been a blessing to so many people. Some use it for the MBA program, some for training the people, some, in the office. And that's why I've done the first edition, second edition, third edition, fourth edition. In fact, I mean, I just had a revelation 2 days ago about another dimension of customer retention. And
Mhm.
it's like a new journey all over again.
Wow.
It's just blown me apart. I said, wow,
Mhm.
I just met someone and I was sharing my thoughts, and the person said this and this and this, and we
Mhm.
connected it together, and it was just like, wow, where have it's 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 I'm just so grateful. Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. So now maybe another edition is in the making.
Yeah. Another edition. Yeah, it is because
Awesome.
the way we with COVID, the way you retain customers has changed. You know, things
Yes.
have changed. The way we show up has changed with COVID. I mean, before now, probably doing a Facebook Live or something was,
Mhm.
um, you know, it wasn't as popular as what it is now. You can speak to anyone anywhere in the world right now and collaborate. Yeah. And that's
Absolutely.
what, and the way you retain customers, the touch points, whether it's Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, all the platforms, and so you drop in your nuggets all over the place, and your customers are diverse demographics, they're different backgrounds, and so
Mhm.
yeah, some are just following you. They might not be saying anything on your post, but they're your customers still. They love what you're doing, but
Yes, yes. It's just keeping in touch, right? Keeping people connected and in the loop of things, what's going on.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So tell us, what's your definition of leadership? What is leadership to you?
Leadership to me is serving because when people get in the leadership just because of the position or status, that is not leadership at all. This
Okay.
is
All right.
this is egocentric, just personal interest, and
Yeah.
oftentimes we find people in these positions, and
Mm.
that's when the whole company can suffer. So for me, I just did a training this morning in our local library here on connecting beyond words. It was a free workshop just because I want to add value and serve in my community. There was one business owner who came. She has her own cleaning company with 19 employees. And it was amazing. It was just one on one. We really connected, and I added value to her. And I'm looking forward to coming and doing another workshop with her people who work with her. But this is the true leadership. Like when you just come and you want to add value with pure heart just to serve people or do best and listen to them and value your people, that's
Yeah.
true leadership.
Well done. Well done. Awesome. I also had a free session today, to add value. And that's the way that, you just have to be, in the loop. I say to people, it's not about being first in the market, but it's being first in mind. When they
Yes.
think leadership, they think Maria. When they think leadership, they think Adigoke. This is for my podcast, the
Cool.
brand
Love it.
Leadership Talk with Adigoke. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I wear this all over the place, and it's a brand, So the
Yeah.
podcast has evolved from just having a Facebook Live. It's become a brand
Hmm.
that resonates with people. People listen. You
Yeah.
know, they digest the content, and
Hmm.
they get value. And I also have leadership walk with Adegoke, which
Oh,
is
nice.
which is the people, some people in my community. We have early morning walks, so they listen to my podcast. That they're going to listen to this one. The top executives before they go to work in the morning. We break it down, digest it. So it's
Mhm.
not just leadership talk; it's also leadership walk. You can see.
Nice, nice. So then you talk about, you walk and talk and like
Yeah, yeah,
revisit the topics.
yeah.
Yeah,
And we
that's
we
great.
also apply. Yeah, and we also apply it, in our personal lives and also in our offices. Yeah,
Oh, awesome. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
where are you tuning from? Okay, you were
I'm speaking from Lagos, Nigeria.
Lagos,
That's in
Nigeria.
Africa. That's in Africa. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Now, are
yeah.
you guys in the fall or in summer season right now?
We're in summer season, but it's also like rainy season. But it's a
Mm.
mixture of both. But it's mostly raining season between May, mid-May, and July. But today the sun is out. Yeah,
Oh, nice. Okay.
yeah,
Cool. Isn't
yeah.
it amazing? Here we are talking New York and Lagos, Nigeria. That's
That's right.
terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now tell us, what's the relationship between what is learning? What is learning? You define leadership. What is learning?
What is learning? What's learning? Learning. Yes. Well, learning in leadership means that you have the capacity of open mind. You're willing to take new ideas because we can't add value to people if we
Yeah,
don't value them, right? So you
yeah,
got to be open and value that we all have certain things that we carry, certain message, we have
yeah,
certain knowledge, certain talents. And so when you're willing to learn about people around you or listen to their perspective and their opinion and ideas, that's when you develop influence, and that's when you start bringing yourself out as a leader because you're open to different perspectives and you're open to learning something new, that mastering a new skill, for example, or mastering a skill of just listening. Not everybody has this. Sometimes it requires effort and it requires like awareness. You have to really know that, like, okay, I should not be talking when my child is trying to tell me something. Like, I gotta
that's right.
pause and listen to what she says so I can understand and learn where she's coming from and her perspectives.
Wow, awesome, awesome. So where's the connection between leadership and learning? Where did they meet?
Where do they meet? Leadership and learning. Well, I mean, if a leader stops learning, you stop growing.
Wow.
So when you learn, you continuously grow. And John Maxwell, our mentor, he emphasizes on the law of the lead. So when the leader
Mm,
puts that lead on his learning capacity, growth stops.
wow.
And as long as we live, we are growing. We have the potential, unlimited potential. So
Wow.
we are growing all our life as long as we don't put that lid on ourselves and don't limit and say, I've reached my destination. I got it. I will just sit here on the couch and watch TV all day long and I don't want to learn anything.
Wow. 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 So, I mean, you said that, but I want to, you know, reframe the question. So, what's the consequence of a leader not learning?
The consequences, the company, they turn into a stagnant position. Like the basically people will feel that they are not valued. People will not be as productive when they see that their leader is stuck in his or her own ways and not learning, not increasing his or her own
Mm,
capacity.
yeah.
Things kind of come to a natural stop and you end up, if you picture a dead end road that doesn't lead anywhere, that's how once you put that lead on your personal learning, you just get stuck in one road and that's a dead end, and you can keep going back and forth, but will you get to new places? No. Will you see new sights? No. You just get stuck, so when you get
Wow.
stuck, being stuck stings. And
Yeah.
eventually that can bring certain signs into the business, that the business will start falling apart. People might start leaving. Retention rate, like customers, right? Because they will get bored eventually with the same product delivered over and over.
That's right. I mean, I was having a conversation with the staff in a furniture company, and they were telling me that the customers are not buying as much as they used to buy because they don't have new products. It's just the same designs, and so they need something to be done by management as soon as possible, and that's it. I mean,
Yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, you can't tell the customers to come and buy new furniture when you don't have new designs. They don't want to buy the same old thing, again and
Yeah.
again. Yeah. So, you know,
Yeah.
so so you have to go into research and development. Learn new innovation, new ideas, come up with new designs, and
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm just trying to uh, corroborate what you just said. You need to continue to learn. It's not just in the academia, but it's also in every facet of life. Even as a teacher, as a
Mhm.
mom, as an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer. So
Yeah.
awesome, awesome. So what are strategies that you can use to learn? What strategies?
Strategies? Well, I personally like, I think I mentioned before the previous when we visited Susan together. I like to do a self checklist. Like, I have certain questions that I literally have like in my bedroom. What do I need to do today? Who do I need to contact? So I have a list of questions that I ask myself to raise the
Mm,
level of intentionality. So
mm,
then the day doesn't, I don't go with the flow. I'm in control of the flow of my day, and I'm very intentional on what needs to be done. So as a leader, or as any, we're all leaders in our own ways.
that's right.
As long as that level of awareness is raised and you're very intentional about what you want to accomplish and what you want to do during your day, how we all have X amount of hours, right? We all have seven hours of business hours during the day, but how we spend those hours, it's up to us.
Mm,
Somebody can be unintentional and just let the day take over and just whatever comes my way, I'll do it. Another person can be very intentional. How, exactly what needs to be accomplished, who needs to be contacted, how I want to take advantage of my day that, God gave me today.
wow, awesome, awesome. If you just join us, we've been speaking with Maria Maha. Is from New York, that's in USA, and we're looking at leadership and learning. And this is the 84th podcast of Leadership Talk with Adegoke. We're so delighted to have Maria on the platform. She's adding massive value. So, Maria, tell us, if there's someone out there, as a leader, what is that one thing that that person needs to do right now in the area of learning? One thing.
One thing I would say, a person, if you want to be a learner and have the learning mindset, you need to be reading every day.
Wow.
I would encourage to pick a good book and read. And it doesn't have to be hours on if you're a busy person and you don't have time, or maybe reading is not your passion. But we can develop a habit of reading. And you can start small. You can start as much as 10, 15 minutes a day and then slowly increase it. But when you develop this habit and become consistent, that's when the learning would happen. So I would encourage to pick a good book and start reading on
Wow.
personal development or growth, maybe 15 Laws of Growth. This is a terrific book, one of my top favorites that when I
Awesome.
started my development journey.
Awesome. And I also like to recommend as well, apart from reading a good book, also listen to Leadership Talk with Adegoke. And you'll learn a
Definitely,
lot.
yes. Yes. That's
Yeah,
a
we've
good
done.
one. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So if you listen to a podcast, we've done leadership and innovation, leadership and entrepreneurship, leadership and personal development, leadership and learning, leadership and all areas of leadership. I mean, it just keeps on growing. The next session we're going to be having with Sandari Mukhtari, we're going to be looking at leadership and relationship management. So she's based in Hong Kong. So I mean, it's been a journey. Even for me, sometimes I listen to some of the past podcasts like leadership and listening. That's really been one of the top podcasts. Yeah, leadership, because all leaders need to not just be communicators, but they
Yeah.
also need to be listeners. Because if you are a leader and you don't listen, you lose your relevance. Because most of the things that we learn, 85% is through listening, you know,
Yes.
and yeah, and you find that you listen not with your eyes, with your ears, you listen intentionally. So it's been one of the most listened to podcasts on Leadership Talk with Adegoke. Yeah, yeah,
Awesome. I
awesome.
will definitely check it out. Thank you for mentioning. I wrote it down on my notes here. Thank you,
Uh,
Doug.
th-
Okay.
Thank you, thank you. Now, so how can the culture of learning be built in any environment, in a home, in school, in business? How can the culture of learning be built?
I think it needs to be built with just having an open mind to
Okay.
diversity, that we're
Wow.
all different and
Okay.
we all can bring value to the table. And
Okay.
so when like the school is open to have guests coming, it can be parents, it can be a teacher who maybe has a husband working in some engineering industry,
Yeah.
and just talking to children firsthand how things are built or how certain processes are set up. This
Okay.
relevant experience that is hands-on, not just on the book, will bring a lot of interest into the young hearts, minds, and hearts, and they will just be curious more. So to spark that curiosity, I think we need to be open to just diversity of different opinions and experiences. We all have different experiences.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for your authenticity. You make it seem very easy. Learning, you make it seem as if, once you just open your book, the knowledge jumps at you.
As long as
Yeah.
you're willing to just
Yeah.
soak it all in, right? You have to
That-
have this, like, I'm here to learn. And when you really soak it in and follow through, because sometimes people go to college, they get a degree, but they don't really follow through or they don't apply it. And then as a result, they don't feel fulfilled because it didn't align with their purpose and like true calling. But when you're really intentional and follow through and apply it, that's when I think good things start happening in your life.
That's right. So it's not just about you learning and earning the MBAs and the all the PhDs, but being intentional about what you want to do with the learning, and
Yes.
the more, yeah, applying it, and being in a position to be a blessing and a leader to the community. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Because I appreciate that so much. So anything I learn, I try to share with others, and for me it sticks that way, as opposed to just learning it and keeping it to yourself. So I
Yes.
learn and share, learn a little, share a little, learn a little, share a little. Yeah. So we just have three more questions. um Now I want you to just tell us, do you have mentors?
Oh, yes. I mean, you to grow yourself, you need to have a mentor. You need to
Okay.
have persons who is speaking into your life, who can guide you and advise you and make sure that what you're learning you're applying, or you're learning what you really want to apply in your life. I do. Yes, I have mentors and I have a coach too. Every coach needs a coach because I'm a business coach and a executive coach, and I also have my own coach because
Awesome.
otherwise, I won't be able to give what I don't have. So I need to
Yeah,
gain
yeah,
that.
that's
Yes.
right. That's right. Well done, Maria. I just want to salute you as well because having worked, in the school environment, teaching people for many years and supervising them, it shows that you must be a good leader, because it's not something you did for a year, you did it for several years, and you continue to show up and show up and show up.
Yes.
Right. So then the next question I have for you is, um, look at the camera, or speak from your heart, to any leader out there that is struggling with learning. Just a
Mhm.
word of advice.
I would just, you got to ask yourself, what brings me passion? What do I cry about? What, like you need to find a motivation. What really motivates you? Because sometimes leaders can get stressed out, overwhelmed, and they lose that passion and they lose that spark that really brings them most fulfillment. But when you tap into your passion, into your why, what
Yeah.
brings you that joy, what brings you that enthusiasm that you started this, for example, why you started your company. There must have been reason. There's maybe deep down below somewhere, yes, because there's the worries, there's the fears, there's the stressors, and all kinds of problems that can happen, right, with a business owner or any person in life. But when you really tap into your why you started to begin with, and what brings you that passion, what sparks your enthusiasm, when you tap into your why, that's when you regain your focus, you regain your strength, you regain your spark to move forward and push through despite any obstacles you might face on the way.
Wow, that's so good. Your why, um, your purpose. Why are you here? What's your assignment? That's so powerful. Because sometimes you can run out of ideas. But if you have your conviction is so strong, it helps you to keep going. Wow, this has been so good. Thank you so much. Now, finally, tell us, how can we reach you, our audience? How can they reach you?
So I'm on LinkedIn. I'm also on Facebook, just Maria Maier.
Okay.
I'm also on Instagram, Step Up to Thrive, and
Okay.
I'm just mastering TikTok. I hope
What?
I heard that TikTok is another big platform.
Yeah,
So I'm just learning. My 16-year-old daughter is more advanced in it than I am, but I'm
that's the way it is.
yes, yes. So I'm also on TikTok under Maria Mayer. You can find me there, and or Facebook. I'm pretty much on every social media platform.
Wow, that's the lady. That's the lady that's everywhere. And anytime you need value, just reach out to Maria. Thank
Oh,
you
of
so much
course.
for coming on this platform. We're so encouraged by your depth of knowledge, and also you're relatable as well, and you also the enthusiasm that you bring to the space. Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
coming.
much. Thank you for
Yeah.
having me, Doug. Okay, it was my pleasure and honor to be here and speak to you and your audience. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and so we look forward to your podcast as well, and your book. Your book.
Oh,
Uh,
it will happen someday. Yes, I
yeah.
will. You inspired me, Doug. Okay, with your journey, how you started writing a book, because I kind of think about it. Someday I will. I think I'll do it. It was
Wow.
great to hear
Wow.
your journey.
Wow. Congratulations in advance. So,
Thank you.
on behalf of myself and the rest of the team, we want to say thank you everyone for staying tuned and joining in. And for those that are going to be watching the replay, this is Leadership Talk with Adegoke, the 84th podcast. And I've been speaking with Maria Maha, and we're looking at leadership and learning. Thank you so much. You want to say bye to everyone?
Bye, everybody. Thank you for having me. It was my honor and pleasure. Bye, Doug.
Thanks.
Okay.